Economically, we're in decline. Socially, we're more divided than we've been for years. And strategically, we're in dire peril, but we're largely oblivious to it, and we're certainly not doing anything to recover from it.
I'm going to confess to being extremely angry about the defence policy, extremely angry. It was wrong at every point. It was far too late in the campaign. It was inadequate, didn't explain what it was. It made the fatal mistake that we're still all making of saying, oh, it's all about whether we spend 2.3 or 2.7 or 3. The absolute necessity now is to get the wise heads together in government and in the military and, frankly, in the private sector to say, what are the dangers we face and how do we prepare for them, and then how do we fund what is necessary to do the first thing that is a responsibility of the government, keep the people safe. This time round, they even had used as an excuse to be really critical of my own side of politics that they'd had to leave it to see how much money was left. That's not how you prioritise the defence of your nation. The only thing you can say for them was that they took it a tad more seriously than the grossly irresponsible mob that are there now. Let me just reiterate that in the rescoping, in inverted commas, of defence capability to pay for AUKUS further down the road, they've stripped over 80 billion out of present and short-term capability. At the same time, as I say, we face the most dangerous times the nation has ever confronted. The two are absolutely irreconcilable. I regard it as grossly and seriously inadequate to say on the one hand that these are dangerous times and then preside over an actual decline in our capability as you and I sit here now. How can we claim to be leaders?
Well, that's again, John. It's a good point. I mean, but what I don't want to see. What I wouldn't want to see is yet another white paper process that takes 12 months, 2 years.
Maybe the view is that if we produce enough white papers, it'll confound the enemy.
I think it ought to be possible to decide basically immediately what's needed. We need offensive and defensive missile systems. We need more ships. We need more planes, and we need more men. We're 5,000 below establishment in terms of the armed force numbers. We should go ahead not with one, but with 2 new squadrons of F-35s, and they should be the marinised versions that we can put on our so-called landing helicopter docks, make them aircraft carriers as opposed to simply amphibious ships. We've been talking about getting light frigates urgently for 18 months. We knocked out one of the 3 bidders. I believe it's a German bid and a Japanese bid left. Let's just go with the Japanese bid because we know the Japanese have got skin in the game in a way that the Germans don't. Make decisions. Get things done. Let's not have the analysis paralysis.
See, that's not a left versus right issue.
No, the analysis paralysis that bedevils everything now, whether it's defence procurement, whether it's opening a new mine, whether it's building a new road, whether it's working out a new plan. Analysis paralysis is killing us. And we've just got to stop all of this. And further to what you just said, this obsession with the quantum of funding is so typical of a government that thinks that you can buy improvements as opposed to make a difference. And as I often used to say as a minister in the Howard government, it's easy to spend money, it's hard to make a difference. But in so many areas, whether it's health, whether it's education, whether it's defence, people think all that matters is the quantum of spending. No, it's the quantum of output. It's the difference you're making.
We set up, our forebears set up a federal government for the main purpose being what? The security and safety of the Australian people.
Correct.
I would argue that the 3 greatest responsibilities of the Commonwealth Government, the 3 greatest, all of them needing urgent attention, all of them more important than little debates about whether we should move this way or that way on the political spectrum or have quotas here or whatever. It's about the issues. If you take defence, plainly we're back in the era of major power instability that our forebears faced when we were a young nation, and they stepped up to it at the time, secured the homeland during the First World War. We wouldn't have sent troops off to Anzac if they hadn't been able to secure our homeland. We couldn't secure our homeland today. No way, militarily. But you add to that justice. Always important. If you want social harmony, you have to have justice. One illustration of the gross injustice we're engaging in at the moment is the intergenerational theft.
Correct.
We've set up an environment, a policy environment, which we didn't debate, whereby we can't live within our means, so we're borrowing from our children unborn as well as born, and what's more, we're having fewer of them. So the tax burden that the few children we're having will face will be grossly unfair. That's not good for social harmony. It's not good for the future of your nation. Your third responsibility is to run an economy that allows you to keep the people safe and living within their means. Those three broad headline issues, it was as though they didn't exist. And the minor debates about how we shuffle here, and it was this, it was that, it was whatever, ignore the reality that this isn't a left versus right, in my view, progressive versus conservative. This is what really now has to be addressed if Australia is to be a free and prosperous country in the future. It's as serious as that, isn't it?
Look, you're absolutely right, John. I mean, we need a plan for a stronger economy, we need a plan for a more cohesive society, and we need a plan for greater security. And we haven't got any of that. At the moment, the current government is engaging in various acts of economic vandalism. The economic situation is imperiled. Our unity is fracturing. We are, in one sense, a multicultural society because we have people in this country who've come from many different countries and cultures. But in the end, we've got to be one country, we've got to be one people, we've got to be coming together constantly. And frankly, we should be stressing our unity far more and any diversity that we might have far less. Let's face it, our migrants didn't come here because they wanted to lead exactly the same life as they led back home. They came here because they wanted a better life. And I think this gives us not just a right, but indeed a duty to do what we can to preserve the largely Anglo-Celtic culture, which has been our great strength, and to preserve the fundamental Judeo-Christian ethos, which has been at the heart of our virtue and decency as a society and as a culture.